a post-human entity would be one where the tools and the human become one. So I don't think we're there yet. I don't see it as a cultural trend. It seems more like an evolutionary trend. Once tools are integrated inside our psyche, our awareness, our consciousness, then in a way the question becomes a little bit obsolete. That will be us. Those will be the considerations that humans make, just with perhaps extra senses, different actuators. The senses that we have now allow us to interact with our world. We can increase them, we can add to them, we can open them up. So for me, I think, yeah, it's not a question of telling the difference or what would humans lose the humanity. No, that would be the humanity. That would be the new human. It feels like the questions are looking at this this new character that will come sooner rather than later, but through kind of like sci-fi lenses of Mad Max and Total Recall and maybe Star Trek and something to do with the Borg, and there, luckily we won't really be around to give it those rear view mirror metaphors and analogies of what's happening in the future. I think that technology will be used in very similar ways that humans use what they have now. Projects might be bigger, ambitions might be longer term, as consciousness is able to go through longer periods of time, but that's still all relative. The shape of the human will be meaningless. The name of this new character could be one of many, but I still think some of the basics, wishes of love and hate, jealousy, will be the kind of driving forces. Very, very simple, basic codes, which is, we never question this within ourselves. We never think to ourselves, why are these memes and teams like just rushing through our veins, and what, a good person, a bad person, moral judgments, just because we have a very similar package to the package that we've had for 1,000 years, for 10,000, whatever. We define that as human, as humanity. I think the shape is already deceiving in itself. So I think that I'm not sure it matters to speculate on what a mixed media human would look like. For me, this is a fascinating point which is playing out right now as we speak, before this new character in humanity has even come out. Because now we're witnessing the groundwork of the technologies and the entire ecosystem which will allow for this new human to exist is now being fought. And you can see that happening especially in the US. And you basically have a situation now where an entire generation has realized what's about to happen. Some people call it disruptive, some people call it automation, dark factories. The reality is that most menial jobs that we know, and I'm not just talking factory workers, but menial as in almost anything that is physical, that doesn't require 10 years of university, but it's just physical, will all be gone. There will be a lot of people who will find themselves out of a job, and there'll be an intermediate period where there's going to be mass unemployment. And I think that happens every now and again when there's a technological leap forward. Collaboration is already changing, and people of a certain generation are already from working at home or cafes, coming together for a certain project, people that people don't see themselves as having a full career. You see CVs now as just like 1 year, people going from one job to another, that's normal. So collaboration will be strong and more efficient, and I guess hopefully better quality things, ideas will come out of it. But we're definitely living in the time where the generation who is about to lose everything is scared and freaking out, and it's coming to them at a very bad time in their life because they're old and retraining is virtually impossible. So almost every menial task, every kind of blue collar job will be gone. Dishwasher used to be a person, and so was a typewriter. Driver will be the next thing. There will be no such job as driver. We're witnessing this in the largest scale possible right now, and that's you can see by both the UK and the USA have these battles going on between the two generations. And in a way, the USA now isn't talking about making America great again and this idea of isolationism. You can hear the president speak about getting back coal jobs. This idea of using coal now, it's as if I started a political party saying the Stone Age was great, bring back stones. I mean, there's stones around, but it's just not something that will be the future. So it's a fascinating time to witness this battle. The post-human character hasn't arrived on the scene yet. The setting is being laid down now, and this battle between the old school and new school is happening. So the post-human collaboration, I think, will be fine. Everything will be okay. I understand why people are afraid for their jobs, but I don't know what can be done about it. I don't know if you can stop the passage of time, or I think you can have a debate about progress and how progress could be done, but now it's already too late. The progress that we are in is part of the march of capitalism, of efficiency in production, of efficiency, of profit maximization. I don't know what the most relevant one is. I did find it interesting that I think on the day of the elections around November 8th, the US elections, an Israeli startup called Otto, was recently bought by Uber, did its first driverless truck delivery. And it went from, I think, like a bottling plant to a distributor, and there was like a sheriff's car following it. And to me, that was a really big step, and it wasn't really talked about. But we're getting to a stage where all of transport will be automated. For me, that's something that could potentially lead to a really beautiful part of our future. The amount of resources wasted on our streets, on every street there's millions of euros worth of metal and just depreciating value, sitting there, not doing anything, not moving. To me, that's one big saving. The other thing would be the improvement in quality of life. Ideally, you would eradicate all accidents. So you'd have streets without cars, so more room for people to walk and maybe more greenery. You'd have cars that don't behave recklessly because of their drivers. And this whole idea of convenience, and to me that's what the future is meant to hold, and that's the promise of technology. So around the election, this test was done, and whilst the world was focusing on how the old world will cope, the new world was really slowly and quietly kind of doing its thing. So to me, that was a really meaningful test.